Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good evening, my friends. This is Angy Stewart from Mia Inner Light and Kardec Radio. So we are here live Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Let me just turn on our chat. So if you are watching us, if you write any comment, anything, I will be able to see your name. So if you don't write anything, I cannot see your name because I'm not directly on YouTube or on Facebook or on Kardec Radio. So if you are new to this program, first thing of all, most important thing of all, I always tell everybody, go to your kitchen right now and grab a glass of water or a bottle of water, because the enlightened spirits will put in this bottle of water your medication for the week. And you're going to say, I will drink this bottle in 1 hour. That's fantastic. You should drink a lot of water. So when your water reaches very little, replenish with more water. And then you do a prayer and you ask the enlightened spirits to replenish the water with your medication. So this will last. You continue replenishing the water and doing a prayer. It will be your medication for as long as you can, or as long as you come back here with us and we study and we pray together again. So this study is 1 hour divided in 2 half-an-hours. The first book we study is this book, What is Spiritism? This is like it's a short book. Look, it's a short book, and we are reading right now the biography done by Angy Stewart on Kardec. So we are learning about all his life struggles, how he started discovering what was this table turning movement that eventually became Spiritism. So we are learning about it. And the other 30 minutes, we go to this book, The Gospel According to Spiritism. It's a very, very important book for all of us, especially now during this pandemic time, because we all need hope, consolation, and love, so we can feel at peace, understanding there are lots of problems, lots of troubles, lots of difficulties in life in general, but we have hope for better days. And as I always tell everybody, when you read a book by yourself, especially if it's a spiritist book, you need a lot of reflection, because you have to really think what you are reading. It's not a romance you read and move quickly. No, the codification requires reflection, requires you to understand deeply what you are studying. And when we do this in a group, it's wonderful, because then we can exchange ideas, learn different opinions. That's why I thought to have this as a group conversation would be much more interesting. And that's why the gospel, we always have 2 guests that help us to enlighten this discussion. So I'm just saying hello to the ones that wrote here. Hello, Matthew. Very nice to have you here. You are always here with us. This is wonderful. Claudia Garces. Hello, Claudinha. How are you? Roberta. Hello, Roberta. I'm so happy to have you guys here. Guys, girls, all of you, you know that we just completed the loving bags this Sunday. So I'm just seeing to Claudia and Roberta, and you live in Miami, so you guys were here with me. And Matthew, you don't live in Miami, but you helped us so much with your donation, so we were able to create the bag. So thank you to all of you that are listening to me right now, but the other ones will be listening later. This big accomplishment of 400 bags with 20 items in each was only possible because of all of you who trusted this work, who donated, who shared with other people, who purchased items. My goodness, it was a lot of work, but it is a blessing that we did it. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And so now let me invite of you to calm down, even myself, and let's do our initial prayer. God, our Mother and Father, thank you very much again for bringing us together here Thursday night to continue our studies of Spiritism, enlightening our thoughts, helping us to understand what is right, what is wrong, how to take better actions. Please, Master Jesus, stay always with us, helping and guiding us throughout our difficulties in life, so we will have a faith, perseverance, enlightenment, and we will continue overcoming all the difficulties, facing others, but having the faith that one day it will all pay off and we will be better people. Please stay with us now and always. So be it. Very good, my friends. Awesome. So the first 30 minutes, we go to this wonderful book, and I will share with you the text. So let me see if you can read. I will just do a quick recap of what we were talking last week. So last week, we are still in the first portion with this biography that Angy Stewart did about Kardec. So Kardec was actually explaining to us that we should never impose Spiritism on anyone, that we should donate our energy to the people that are actually curious, to the people that really ask us something because they want to be enlightened. And the ones that are totally against it, for us not to really bother with it, because we should never impose our beliefs on somebody else. I know that I always say when you start, you want to bring Spiritism to everybody, but it's not good. Imagine yourself. You are a Spiritist, or you like Spiritism. And then comes somebody else with a very, very different philosophy of life or religion and try to impose you this, telling you, no, you're totally wrong. Everything you think is wrong. This is good. How would you feel? You wouldn't like it. You would be upset. You would be immediately against whatever. So that's what Kardec was saying. Don't bother with this type of things. Your actions will be better to spread the Spiritist knowledge than actually forcing people. And that's how it is until nowadays. I just mentioned the loving bags, and lots and lots of my neighbors, they participated in many different ways. Some came physically to pack the bags and then to distribute. Others did a lot of a donation and a lot of spreading the good word. And I have this group called Volunteers of Love. That's an ecumenical group that we don't really talk about any kind of religion or philosophy. We just talk about charitable work. But sometimes we end up talking about some kind of philosophies. And of course, I mention my philosophy, but it's different than you mention something to somebody that actually asks you what it is, then you try to force your belief on somebody else. So this is the important thing for us to understand. So let's continue. So last week we read this little portion. It's just important for us to say. So this sentence is very important for us. Without charity, there is no salvation. So this charity here is not the only charity in the meaning of donating things to others, but also charity amongst ourselves. A lot of people here, they are from different societies, maybe not from different spiritist centers, because I know lots of people here, their cities don't even have a spiritist center, so they don't go to a physical place. But they are different societies of a different work, different school, different families, and we can exercise very well our charity there. You know, when difficulties arouse, when the problems come, that's when we can exercise charity. It's compassion, is understanding, is really forgiveness. So Kardec was explaining here that Spiritism has a lot of enemies. And then he continues. These enemies, they will try to divide the Spiritists by creating divergent theories and arousing distrust and jealousy amongst them. Do not fall in their trap. Whatever looks for a means to disrupt good harmony cannot have good intentions. I recommend that you use utmost circumspection when you form your group. So he was mentioning that in the Spiritist groups, there are lots of issues, lots of difficulties, and lots of differences. You know, the good thing you have to think is that a Spiritist center is a hospital. We are all sick. Yes, yes. We are all sick, but we have different types of diseases. You know, we are not the same. And whatever I suffer from, maybe you don't. But whatever you go through, I already overcame that. So that's why it's good that we can actually balance each other. We can help each other. But we are still on Earth. This is a planet of trials and expiations. Even if we already started the regeneration phase, but our planet's like a baby in the regeneration. So we feel trials and expiations. We feel hatred. We feel lots of horrible things. We see on TV the bad news all the time, murders, horrible things going on. So this is what's gonna go on Earth, and depends on us to improve ourselves a little bit. The same thing is to happen in the Spiritist Center. You know, in the Spiritist Center, we'll have clashes among the people that they want A and this wants B, and then they will fight because they think their opinion is what is more important. So we have always to deal with these differences in the best way possible, trying really to exercise our understanding, our love, respect. And that's what Kardec was trying to say here, and how important is for us when to act like that when we create our groups. So he continues. The nature of Spiritist work requires composure and concentration, and the latter is impossible if one is preoccupied with arguments and with displays of malevolent sentiments. There will be no malevolent sentiments where there is fraternity, but there can be no fraternity where there is selfishness, ambition, and pride. So these three are really bad: selfishness, ambition, and pride. So whenever there are these three, it's a problem. And as I just said, we are beings trying to improve. We have all of this. Yes, we do. And you're probably saying, no, I am no selfish at all. Really? Let's test you. We have all this, even if in a very minimal amount, we still have it. And we might haven't been in a situation that you were tested to that. We might not have been there, but who knows? Maybe one day something will happen and you will act in a way and you are like, I did that? That's so crazy. How did I say that? Why? And that's that thing all because you were going through the impulses. And many times we have things hidden within us that we don't even understand that's still there. So we have to control ourselves and imagine, well, yes, I might have that. I might have been little tiny bit, but I might have, and I have to be careful. And then he continues, the proud who are susceptible to being offended by everything. So prouds are like that. A person that is proud, when you say something and she or he doesn't like, that's it. I'm never going to talk to that woman again. This is the proud person. The proud person is like that because he can be offended. She knows everything. And in the moment, somebody, even in a light way, because there are people that are very difficult. They go immediately like attacking you. No, you don't know, with the finger like this. But there are people that are trying in a kind of easy way, trying to show you it might be a little bit different, but this person don't accept. And then the ambitious who feel mortified if they are not in charge. So the ambitious person I'm giving the examples of a spiritist center, okay? It can be in any case, it can be in a job, but in a spiritist center, a person just arrived, it's brand new, doesn't know much of the spiritist center, doesn't much know about the spiritism, doesn't know the people there, but arrived and believes he has to be in charge of a big task. And it's not right. So if you watch the movie Nosso Lar, Astral City, you see that André Luiz, the doctor, he was a doctor here on the planet Earth. When he discarnated and he went to the spiritual realm, he went to a hospital to be helped. So when he felt good, he was telling the people that, oh, I'm a doctor. I can help. So he was offering his services, but not because he wanted to be helpful at that moment. But he was he was ambitious and he was proud also. I'm not going to clean. Me? I'm a doctor. I don't clean. That's how we have to switch our mind. And André Luiz, he learned that. He learned through the examples of the others. He learned that the medical treatment in the spiritual realm is very different. The equipment is different. The surgeries are different. And then he learned from his heart that the best way for him was to help. And then he took the broom and he went cleaning. He was doing a cleansing, not just of the floor, but of his full soul. He was cleaning himself out of all kinds of prejudice, proudness, all kinds of selfishness, whatever he had. And soon later, he was able to actually help as a healer, as a spiritual doctor. This is a beautiful story. And then the selfish who think of no one but themselves. Schism is not far off, and with it, dissolution. So when we have all those types of people, imagine the selfish. He only thinks about him, himself, me, and maybe a little bit to the others. So everything is for him. So if he only can arrive at 7 p.m. in one place, but the meeting is actually 6:30, he will create a disturbance because everybody should turn the meeting to 7, not 6:30. When 10 individuals agree, but this one didn't, it will create turmoil. This is the selfish person. So in the Spiritist Center, we have all these types of difficulties. And some people, they show this very directly Others, they have it like in little portions, it's hidden, it's a nice personality, but they also have these issues. So when we go there, that's what we tell you, that's when we are actually doing our healing, because we will have to face those individuals and try our best to live with them, learning with them, improving ourselves, and finding this important harmony to be able to mingle. And this is beautiful. This is actually very beautiful. I didn't even see if there is any questions or comments or anything. Let me just see here. Quickie. Oh, hello. Oh, we have David. Hi, Nora. How are you? So David makes a comment here. He says, a quick comment. Kardec also mentions on the book of the Spirits book, that other philosophies can enrich and complement Spiritism. Yes, of course. As the enlightened spirits already told us, Spiritism will not be the one religion of the future. No, the philosophy of the future. No, there will continue being a lot of different religions, including Spiritism. What the spirits tell us is that in the future, in the far future, we all will be more understanding. So we will all be aware of the difference in religions, and we will respect them. That's amazing. We will respect them, and every person will know Spiritism. It's not like nowadays, especially here in the US. You tell someone that you are a spiritist, they immediately like, what? What is that? Like they have no idea of what it is. In Brazil is already different, because in Brazil, even if someone is not a spiritist, they heard. Unfortunately, sometimes they hear lots of misconceptions and things that are totally opposite of the truth, but they heard of the word spiritism. So in the future, life will be better. So continue. If a group wants to be orderly, tranquil, and stable, the sentiment of fraternity must reign. So it's very important, this fraternity, especially amongst those people that coordinate the center. So imagine a bigger spiritist center. Here in Miami, we have gigantic centers, not just in Miami, in Florida. We have places that are really, really huge. And these big places, they have a smaller amount of people that coordinate the studies, the lectures, whatever, and an even smaller amount of people who are the founders, who are the directors, president, vice president, whatever. So those people, especially, they have to have this brotherly, sisterly feeling. They have to be very fraternal among themselves, because if something happens and they start like a competition against each other, this will bring a huge problem to the center that will be reflected in the works of the center, and will be reflected on the people that start going there, because people are going to start feeling something's strange. It seems that person is not talking to that person, and then gossip. Why? What happened? And then imagination. People start creating things that didn't even exist. So it's very dangerous, and we have to police ourselves to don't start it. We have to be very careful. So those that are founded according to the true spirit of the doctrine will see their members are being of the same family, albeit not living under the same roof. Not living under the same roof. So they are the same family, the spiritual family, not the physical family. Any rivalry among them would be nonsense. It could not exist where true charity reigns, for charity cannot be understood in two different ways. Recognized through Spiritists in the charity of their thoughts, words, and deeds. Those who nourish sentiments of animosity, rancor, hatred, envy, or jealousy in their souls, in fact, lie to themselves and only pretend to understand and practice Spiritism. Selfishness and pride kill individual societies just as they kill cultures and societies in general. Very powerful words, very powerful, very beautiful words. So it depends on us. It depends on us to really demonstrate we are true spiritists. I'm not saying that there will be never an issue, because we are difficult people. There is always issues. But it's important for us to be able to reflect, calm down, try to understand why that person said that. Why did I answer like this? If it's very difficult, ask for somebody else to do a meeting together, so a person can be a mediator, trying to bring like a balance between two people. So it's important for us to take action. Don't, if a fight happens, don't stay away and like, ah, who cares? I don't really need to talk to that person, because that's not a good behavior. You are not going to be resolving the situation. You're just pulling it away from you momentarily, but that strange feeling will still continue with you. So let's see if we can read a little tiny bit more, because we are almost 9:30. And then the request of this. So this is about a trip that Kardec did. Kardec did many trips throughout his life, because the spirit had told him he was not going to live for a long time. So with that idea, he was kind of desperate to spread the good news. So he tried every single time to travel to other cities or the countries to be able to talk about Spiritism. So, on the request of the Spiritist centers in Lyon and Bordeaux, Allan Kardec took a long advertising excursion in September and October, offering advice only to those who asked for it. So, Kardec was not like telling people what to do, but they were asking him what to do, and he was saying, in my opinion, you could do like this, or like this. That's how we should do also. We shouldn't, I already said, we should never impose anything. And whenever someone asks you, oh, what would you do in this situation? It's very difficult to answer it, because you are different from the other person. Maybe your personality, your lifestyle, your situation. So whenever you tell someone, oh, you should do this, this, and this, that's already dangerous. It's already dangerous, because that would be good for you, but it might not be good for that person. So when we do fraternal counseling in the Spiritist Center, for example, we always tell people we cannot answer any of these questions. We are going to talk here about Jesus, about his teachings, and about what happened in the gospel with the apostles, giving examples for you to reflect on it, and you will take your own decision. Because imagine someone comes and tells their husband is the evil person, is this horrible being, and then immediately you are in experience and you say, divorce, because this man is evil. Do you really know if that man is evil? In that moment, the only thing you know is actually the story of the one side, this person that's telling you. You don't know the other side. You don't know the side of the husband. Oh, he is alcoholic. Okay, he is alcoholic. So this wife, or if it's the contrary, the husband, they should try to help this person to get out of the alcoholism. We also don't know the spiritual situation. We don't know if that man is under obsession. If you are in our channel, we have a program that happens every Monday called Are You Curious? And last week, I spoke about obsession regarding Spiritism. There are 3 different types of obsessions according to the explanations from the spirits. So you don't know if this man is under some kind of obsession. So we can never tell people what they should do. We should give them examples and always reinforce on love, on forgiveness, on taking decisions in a peaceful way, because this is the most important of all. And then the person will decide, the person will take their own decision. So let me just see where I ended. So, okay, so I will stop here. Is the beginning of page 39. Very good. Beginning of page 39 is the beginning of the trip to Lyon and Bordeaux. And now we are going to start the second phase of our study. So I have here Davi, and I have Marcio, but Marcio is not connected. Marcio, where are you? So I will remove Marcio until he gets connected. Hopefully, Marcio will get connected and we will be able to talk to him too. So let me just put ourselves here. Hello, Davi. How are you?
Good. How are you, Angela?
I'm very, very good. I'm happy to have you here with us. It's not your first time. You already participated, I think, once. I think you participated another time. So you are not new to this study. Let me just see. Oh, I didn't see your comment, Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you? So Mark was saying, yes, respect and tolerance for all beliefs. Exactly. That's really, really good. So, David, before we go to our second phase, trying to see if Marcio is going to be able to resurrect from ashes and join us. You were with us packing the loving bags and distributing the loving bags here in Miami. How was this experience? Even if I know you participated in all the other ones, I think you participate since the 2017, isn't it?
Yeah, there was one, I believe it was in Brazil, was in some other trip, but I did at least 3. And
very good.
This one was extra special because I think there are a reduced number of help for homeless people, and you could see even more transparently how grateful they were when we delivered the bags. And there were some operational difficulties as we did that, because everybody needs to be using masks, and we had that circuit to pack in the bags. And if you remember, I was packing the bags like sometimes I drive. I would take little shortcuts, do it a little faster.
Oh my goodness. That's why we all have to learn in this life. I have to control this man.
But I did run anybody over. It was wonderful. The experience was wonderful. Everyone collaborated in a nice manner. We all had fun doing that, which is a great thing when you can have fun while practicing something good, even if it's such a small thing. For me, it was an opportunity to exercise love and charity. I'm grateful you had me there. Thanks for inviting me.
I really appreciate everyone, because the ones that were packing, they were also exposing themselves to risk, because we were all close together. Even if we had masks, we had gloves, But you know, COVID time is a very difficult time. It's not easy to anyone, but it was a blessing. And as you said, yes, they were so extremely happy to receive the simple bag, so simple, but people were so touched. And I remember a lady that she got the bag and she didn't even open to see what was inside the bag. She grabbed the bag, she hugged the bag, and she starts singing Merry Christmas. It was so beautiful. She was like, wait, because you know, in Miami we donate the bags from the car. In New York we actually walk on the streets, but in Miami, because of the distances, we donate from the car. So we gave to her, and she was like, wait, let me sing. And then she sang the beautiful song, and then she said, go with Jesus, something like that. It was so beautiful. We were like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And then we think like, wow, it's such a simple gift, but sometimes for them it's not even what is inside the bag. It's someone really thinking of them, like you know, you are going out of your way to notice they are not invisible. So it was very touching. I encourage all of you, whatever you are, if you can do something, if you can join a group that's doing some kind of charitable work, it's a blessing. And if you can join a group, do yourself. You know, I started this project that was 400 bags, doing 10 bags alone, and then it just grew like this so super quickly. But okay, so I don't know what's going on with Marcio. He's not here, but we are going to talk today about this beautiful book, The Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 12. And the first item is Discarnate Enemies. So a lot of people think we spoke last week about forgiving our enemies. And I remember actually it was Roberta. Roberta is actually here. Let me just open the comments again. So Roberta was saying, oh, but nowadays we actually don't have enemies anymore. Yes, we don't have enemies per se, but we still have people we disagree, people that we don't enjoy the company, people that have a very different opinions from our opinion, especially in the political field. Nowadays it's like a war. You know, you cannot talk about this or that because it's like crazy. So we have to be always so careful with this. So we can classify this divergences as our enemies of nowadays. So there are people that we have a hard time to live with and to understand their differences from us. So we have to exercise a lot of forgiveness. But we are going to talk today about the discarnate enemy. So people think like in the far-west movies from the past, when the families used to fight and they wanted to kill one person, and usually when that person died, it was paradise. The devil died, now everything is good. But in Spiritism we know it is not. It is not, because now this enemy, this person that dislikes us, that hates us, now is free from the physical body and will be able to actually be closer to us, tormenting us in a much more intense way. So I will just read the first paragraph. If you guys have the book again, chapter 12, item 5. So, discarnate enemies. Spiritists have yet other reasons for being tolerant to their enemies. First of all, they know that wickedness is not a permanent state for humans, that is due to a momentary imperfection, and that just as children correct themselves or their faults, evil people will someday acknowledge their wrongs and become good. So this is very, very beautiful for us to to start. So all of you that are listening, that are seeing us, please write your comments, participate, ask questions. We would love to be able to read and write your questions or your comments here. So hello, Vanessa. Vanessa is here. Vanessa Anceloni, like Kardec Radio. Nice to have you here, Vanessa. So Vanessa is saying there are opponents and adversaries. Exactly. So our enemies are our opponents, our adversaries nowadays. So David, how do you think you should start talking about this? Marcy, we still did not flourish here, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, internet issues. But we wish him, we send him good thoughts and send his
Yes.
internet good thoughts as much as possible. Um, my personal experience with that, and is that I in the beginning he says we spirits become enemies with each other because of our temporary state of imperfection, right? I think that's key to start thinking about it. First thing, it's not going to be permanent, but we do have our differences here in the incarnate world as opposed to the discarnate world. And my understanding is that it's very similar, both here and on the discarnate world, where you really see somebody or you feel their energy and it just doesn't match, right? Sometimes you meet somebody new and you don't know why, and everybody goes through that experience. You feel that you don't match with that person, and there's different levels we don't, right? Like sometimes it's a small thing, you just ignore that. Sometimes you have that overwhelmed anger feeling. Um, I know it's overwhelming because I've experienced with that. But the fact is that that's something very individual, because you feel that way towards somebody. It doesn't necessarily is reciprocal, right?
Mhm.
And the person actually paying for that feeling or going through the anger and going through the negative feelings is yourself. Uh, Imagine in the case of Jesus, how many people had negative feelings towards him. And that energy probably could never reach his soul, because, we're talking about the one most perfect
Being that
spirit
ever lived.
that we know of, right?
Yes.
So imagine the level of his energy. Uh, that to me comes to prove that as you go into that situation, you are you are undermining yourself. You're the one dealing with the negative feelings. You're the one dealing with all the negativity. However, we are humans, right?
Yes.
Sometimes, like I said, you meet somebody and you naturally have that feeling and you don't know why.
Yes.
My personal way to deal with that is acknowledge the feeling and not try to suppress it, but don't feed on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a spiritism, that's David speaking, right?
Mm.
That's so far what I the way I've dealt with that is, hey, I meet somebody that makes me feel this way. I acknowledge that and say, okay, it's there. It's true. I'm not going to pretend it's not there. I don't know exactly why. I don't know where it comes from. Perhaps, from some past experience we had, perhaps with something that just, the way the person acts or moves or talks uh, triggers that. It's hard to pinpoint it.
Yes, and when we are incarnated, it's already difficult to deal with this. But as the situation you are mentioning, so we are both living. So you know this person, you don't feel comfortable with this person, or you had an issue with this person. So what do? You naturally tries to be away from this person. You avoid going to places this person will go. You avoid being close to this person because you have issues or from this life or from a previous life. And when we talk about discarnate enemies, it's even more difficult because you cannot tell a spirit, get out of here. I don't like you. I don't want to be with you. Don't stay here, because it's impossible. We cannot control the spirits. We cannot control them in this way. There are other ways we can help the situation to be a little bit better. And we always say that through the prayer, through our inner transformation, because what attracts a spirit that does not like us is something that connected us through some kind of evil doing that one of the two did. And it's always like a chain, you know. In this life you did that, but in the previous life he did something else, and you did. So it's like crazy. And the way to break this chain is really through forgiveness, through hard work, through good examples. Because the enlightened spirits that participate from mediumistic meetings, they always tell us that until you change, the other spirit will continue attacking you, because in their mind, what is focused is that the moment, that fragment of a moment. And so it sometimes even we already changed, we are better, we improved, but the spirit is still over focusing on that situation from the past. Oh, I see Marcio. I see a spirit approaching. Let me put Marcio here. Marcio, where are you, man? Join us.
But that's an incarnate one. That's not.
They're incarnated. Try visualization. Boom. Hey, very good.
Hi, Marcio.
I hope Marcio can hear us. Can you hear us, Marcio? Are you good? Well, we are going to continue talking. Whenever you'll be able to join, will be a blessing. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, sound's not making it.
Your sound is not working. But so, as I was mentioning, in the mediumistic meeting, it's very difficult. That's why sometimes these spirits are brought, and they tell us all their turmoil. Many times it's a horrible thing. It's not just like, oh, he stepped on my shoe. It's something deep. He murdered my son. We talk about our lives now. We think we are little angels, but nah. We are already difficult right now. Imagine 100, 200,000 years ago. We all committed big mistakes. We all committed very, very difficult things. Marcio, can you just talk so we can see if you can? Oh no, we can't hear you.
I can't hear him either.
Oh, too bad, too bad. We already can see the spirit, but we cannot connect with the sound. Oh. So, in number 5 here, Discarnate Enemies. My goodness, we just have 10 minutes and we still have to go to the other one. But number 5 here, he talks that through bad behavior, we anger them. And it is then they serve as instruments of God's justice to punish those who have not forgiven. So, if we continue doing evil things, bad things, whatever, they will connect with us more and more because we are not breaking the bond. So a lot of people say, oh, I have to pray to get rid of them. But in reality, the best way to help would be to pray for them, to pray for this spirit. And then you're going to say, oh, but I don't know who is it. I don't even know if I have an obsessor. Yes, you might not even have. I'm not saying that everybody has an obsessor. But if you imagine you do, just do a prayer for the spirit. Dear God, please help this spirit who might have something against me because I might have done something very bad in the past. I don't remember. I would like to apologize. I would like to change. I would like to improve myself. That's the way to start it. That's the way to start it.
Angela, one comment I want to mention about what you just said. Even if the enemy is discarnate, you can always recognize the feeling, and that's part of knowing yourself, right? When you connect to that feeling or you feel that energy, that's when you need the prayer. That's when you need, or whatever way you connect. In my way, I need to put on music, sometimes classical music, and then I reconnect, and then I go into that state of prayer, whatever works for you. But important to recognize the feeling.
Yes, yes, it is true. And if you are a medium, it's even harder because, you know, mediums, they connect with everything. So they connect with spirits. Like, for example, with me, I connect with a spirit. And, you know, there are so many different types of mediumship. Every medium is different. My mediumship is very simple. I don't have like any woo mediumship. But whatever the spirit is feeling, that's what I will be feeling. So sometimes the spirit is in pain and suffering. Then I feel that the headache, that very difficult sensation. But at the same time, whenever is a very enlightened spirit that approaches us, you start feeling like, life is so beautiful. You don't even know why. You're like, that's so good today. Such a loving day. So it's like, that's why they say mediums are a little different. Yes, mediums are a little different. So just before we move to, if someone strikes your right cheek, offer him the other side. I just like to read the one portion of number 6 that mentions, if one must have indulgence and benevolence for one's incarnate enemies, one must also have them for those who are discarnate. So, you know, if when we have our actual enemies, the ones that our adversaries living, and we have compassion towards them, we should have compassion towards the discarnated too. And exactly as I mentioned, towards the prayer, asking God to help them, and asking them to forgive us. But also changing, you know, if you continue committing all kinds of problems, all kinds of mistakes, don't think the spirit's not going to see that. It's going to say, oh yeah, you pray for me to change, but look at you, you don't do anything, you're not improving. So this is a tough one. So Saul just said here, when I was Catholic, I had a hard time to forgive people. But when I became Spiritism, I learned to forgive people. I learned to pray for my enemies. Spiritism is a blessing in our lives, no doubt. Yes, so it is. It definitely is. And you know, we have to understand that our enemies, we are enemies of someone too. We have enemies, and someone faces us as a enemy, as an opponent, as a person that they don't like. So, and sometimes we don't even know. Sometimes we don't even know. And David mentioned that Jesus was the most enlightened being who ever incarnated on earth, and he had lots of enemies, lots. So don't imagine that we don't have anyone, because we do. It's difficult, but we do. So I have a Claudia saying, hi everyone, working late today, but sending loving vibrations. Hi, my friend, nice to have you with us. So, Davi, now we moved to, if someone strikes you in the right cheek, offer him the other side. This is really difficult. So imagine this in the time of Moses, because this is part of in the time of Moses, with the Mosaic law, it was an eye for an eye. So if you robbed, you and you're caught, you're gonna get your hand cut. And imagine when Jesus came and Jesus said this, how people thought he was crazy, because this guy's crazy. Nowadays, if someone comes and tell you this, is it still like, what? So imagine 2000 years ago. So what can we start talking about it?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that this is symbolic language. It's a lot deeper than physical aggression, right? And it comes back to the feeling that resounds when somebody does anything that you believe harms you or you believe is against you. And the way I perceive that, again, that negative feeling, if you hold on to the negative feeling, it's your own suffering. If that causes anger, if that causes humiliation, whatever that causes to you, you have to let it go. Part of forgiving is letting go of negative energy. And that means you're being compassionate to yourself as well, not just your enemy. Because I don't know if you have had the experience lately, or probably we all had it, of being in a longer conflict with somebody. Classical example, divorce. Very classical example. And you don't get to get better until you let it go of that feeling. And the only way to let it go of that feeling is to look at the other person, not necessarily as your enemy, but as your peer that also makes mistakes. And you recognize yourself you make mistakes yourself, and then you start to let it go of the whole negative energy, the negative feelings. And that's a process, right? That may take a whole lifetime to recover for something as difficult as a divorce. But that's my interpretation on that.
Yes, it's really good. And to forgive someone in whatever situation, you cannot start from the point that person is evil and you are a saint. Because if you start like this, it's impossible, because you're already putting that person totally down and you're totally up. And in reality, it's not that, because we all have our evil sides, we all have our difficulties. And of course, we tend to see our light all the time. And sometimes we also have our darkness. So the best way to start is really little by little, step by step, like you just said. So the best thing really is to start seeing the qualities of those people. For example, in your case, you just mentioned divorce. If a person was married one day, it's because there was love in that relationship. And if there was love, there were good things there. But with the time, for whatever reason, problems happen and people change. And what happened that we have a tendency of focusing on what is negative. But if we can focus on what was positive, to start this healing process of forgiveness, to start like remembering, this person was good. Like, and if there is children, she is a good mother. and she takes care of the kids and she works hard. So yes, there are all kinds of difficulties, but it will help you to heal. So this is to any case. And I mentioned last week the case of the lady that her 16-year-old was killed by a 21-year-old, and she was hating this man for so many years, and it was like killing herself. And when so many years passed, she received a letter saying in 1 year, for example, he was going to be released. And then she decided to go to jail to ask him why he did that. And when she went there, he was explaining that it was not in purpose. And, they start fighting, and he took the gun to make him to stop, but the boy actually came up on him and boom. And unfortunately, it happened. So it was a lot of pain there. Imagine you have one son and he died like this, and now you are facing the person who killed him. So, as by her own words, she said, if I don't forgive him, it will kill me. So she said that the forgiveness is for us. It's not for the other, it's for
Absolutely.
us. So we start healing, we start seeing things in a different way. And as you said, you let it go. You let it go. You are doing everything you can. If the other person, for whatever reason, does not want to talk to you, does not want to be a friend, does not want to anything, you are doing your part. And you have to pray that the healing will come somehow, so it will avoid another reincarnation to make amends. But it's not up to us alone. It's it's a two-way forgiveness. But if we start our side, is already a step ahead.
But it's an individual process, right? You cannot control how the other forgives.
Yes.
But as long as you forgive, you stop suffering, you move on, and sure, you may have to reincarnate with the other person again to resolve that, but in a position to help them resolve their pain, not in a position to relieve the whole drama.
Yes. Thank God.
Thank God,
we don't have to
beautiful.
live the exactly same situation. That's why we reincarnate in different positions. And why it's so important for us to forgive, because when you forgive, you are free from, when you forgive really, not just you forgive from I forgive her, but whenever I can't stand that woman, that's not forgiveness. That's not forgiveness. Then she will come back as your daughter, that difficult daughter. So this is our own process of healing. My friends, it's 10:04. We are over the time. Thank you so much for being here. It was a blessing, as it always is. I'm so sorry our dear friend Marcio couldn't talk today. Oh, Marcio, too bad you couldn't talk to us. So I was like extra talkative because Marcio was on mute.
He's talking, we can't hear.
Yeah. Next time we try again. So, my friends, thank you so much. And I would like to ask David. David, would you like to do our final prayer?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Please.
Of course. Let's start. Dear Lord, I thank you for the opportunity to be here into this warming and friendship environment, to be able to read, analyze, understand, interpret this message. I feel blessed to have that opportunity to start to be conscious about these important things about myself, about humanity. I pray that you help this world for more evolution, more understanding, more respect to each other in every level. So be it.
So be it. Very good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, you all. We are today actually is the last meeting of the year, because today is the 17th. So next week is Christmas time. We are not gonna have our live, and the following week is New Year. So we are gonna be 2 weeks out. I will be missing this live a lot, but my brain is already working on so many other things that we can do. So we will be coming with new things next year. We might have some kind of prayer treatment, or we might have some kind of gospel at home. So news will come, and if you have ideas, send us the ideas, and we all can do a brainstorming. So very, very, very happy holidays to all of you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and I hope to see you all back in 2021 without COVID, with lots of vaccination. Thank you, my friends. God bless you
Bye,
all.
everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays,
to you all.
everyone.
Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays. Happy 2021. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.